Hello, beautiful people. Gail Scott here, Galactic Channeler. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. This is a channel where you're going to hear about galactic messages coming from all kinds of energies and really bringing you some assistance on how to navigate these really difficult times. So this particular message has 5 major themes. And I'm calling the message Big Energy and Creating Your Future Today. So, we're recognizing now that our planet and our world is going through some pretty major shifts. Energetically, physically, even emotionally, we're all beginning to understand that there's maybe more going on our planet than we had originally thought. Some people don't know about those things, but most of the people who are listening to this kind of video have kind of clued in that there's something going on. Well, it turns out that there's something going on, of course, has been going on for a very long time, but the energetic shifts have really taken let's say precedence since December 21st, 2012. So, almost a decade ago, we're looking at a real shift in the energy on the planet. And if you are someone that's sensitive to energy, then you already know all about this. You will already be experiencing the kinds of emotional and physical symptoms that come with these energy shifts. Things like being super tired, maybe you have vertigo, maybe you have ringing in your ears, maybe you have upset digestion, maybe you can't sleep very well. These are all the kinds of, ascension symptoms that people who are sensitive to the energy of our planet could and have been experiencing over the last decade. So we're in what they're calling a vibrational opening. And it's a new vibrational opening for a different grid structure on our planet. The shifts that are happening right now are different from what we've had in the past. I would say much stronger than we've ever had before. And they're creating an opening of the grid structure, the crystalline grid structure that is our planet. We're shifting over from carbon-based into a crystalline structure. And so this structure surrounds our entire planet. And because it's shifting, we, of course, are being impacted by that because we live on this planet and we breathe the air here, and we're impacted by the light that comes from our solar sun, which is a huge portal for us. And so this vibrational grid structure that's shifting is going to create an even greater level of consciousness for us on the planet. And for those of you who have been watching these videos for over a year now and listening to other people talking about this, you might be thinking, well, it's taking a really long time to evolve. Well, that's what evolution does. It kind of morphs and shifts and changes. And what we're seeing now is that these shifts, they have to take their time so that they're somewhat amenable to us because we're being impacted. So it's almost like it's being kind of brought in slowly so that we can accommodate, like our bodies can accommodate the shifts that are happening, because we're the human species that inhabits planet Earth. So it's not just, of course, us humans that are impacted by these vibrational shifts, but the whole planet herself, obviously, and all the animals and plants that exist on the planet. And because we are the consciousness living entity on the planet, we're greatly impacted by these shifts. And, there's two kind of, let's say, levels of consciousness that we're kind of working with on the planet right now. And the one level is people like yourself who are listening to these messages. You're aware that there are vibrational shifts happening. But there's also another group of people on the planet who are absolutely oblivious. They are still, in that third dimensional, physical realm where they believe that what they see is what is real. And so what's happening is that this message that's coming forward is to assist those people down the road who will hear it later to understand what was happening right now. So this message is really a message of history for those people who, and if they were to hear it right now, wouldn't understand it. But in hearing it maybe in a year or 2, 3 years from now, then their level of consciousness will have changed and they'll get it. They'll get it. They'll understand that we were going through this transitional vibrational grid structure change. And so for those of you who get it right now, fantastic. But for those of you who, know people who are not aware of what's going on, this is really just a confirmation for you. It's kind of like a rubber stamp message that says, here we are, we're in this new experience, we're having this journey. It's a challenge. There's all different levels of consciousness on the planet, of awareness. And in a sense, it might look like we have all different worlds going on. Well, we kind of do. What that means is that these vibrational shifts are like steps and stages for each person, depending on where they're at. So there's going to be some people that have no awareness, and that's the level that they're at. And then there's going to be people who completely understand what's going on, and that's the level that they're at. And what this vibrational shift is going to do is it's going to kind of close that gap. So it's going to bring, these two differences of self-awareness, of consciousness together. So those who don't know what's happening and those who do know what's happening will begin to come onto the same playing field, if you like. Of course, it's not going to happen overnight. But as you're going through this experience, it's going to seem to you as if there's multiple worlds going on right now. How can some of these people not know what's really going on? And how do we who think we know what's going on, live in this new, constantly shifting dynamic? So you're going to be experiencing, your own reality. It's almost as if there's split-offs in reality. There's one reality over here that someone believes, and then there's another reality over here that someone else believes, and yet there's another reality over here that someone else believes. And so, how do you cope with these tremendous changes, these differences of opinions, of knowings, of awareness, of consciousness? How do you cope with that on an ongoing basis? Well, it's really important that you stay in the present moment, because you can only deal with what you have right in front of you right now, because it's constantly changing. So if you're one of those people that's trying to connect to a new future, the next theme is that you can connect to that future that's in the quantum field. But in order for you to do that, you have to really shift your focus in terms of vibrationally to get there. So what that means is that if you can begin to look forward to the future, then you are beginning to create a new vibrational, let's say, space that you're living into. See, we kind of think that if we can't see it, touch it, feel it, hold it, hear it, it doesn't exist. But in the quantum field, everything exists, all possibilities, all futures, all presents, and all pasts. And so what if you can project your future and bring it forward to you? Well, you can do that by looking forward to your future, recognizing that in the quantum field, you have access to everything. It's a very different energetic vibe from gloomily predicting that there's going to be fear and challenge and difficulty. It's not going to be beneficial to you to try to create a future like that. That's what you're doing every single time you have one of those thoughts. You're projecting out that negativity into the quantum field. So guess what? Everything exists. You'll pull that forward to yourself. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to recognize that whatever you're creating in your present moment, if it's fear, confusion, anxiety, depression, disappointment, that's what you're creating for the future for yourself. So what you want to be doing is in the present moment, connecting to the idea that you can pull in love, abundance, peace, prosperity, happiness, joy. You can do that by having it in your now moment and looking forward to more of those moments. So you know that you do that. You know, when you think about going on vacation, maybe it's stressful before you actually get on vacation, but once you get to the point where you're planning your vacation and you're thinking about your vacation and you're thinking about all the wonderful things you're going to do and you're going to see and you're going to have and what it's going to be like for you, that's the future that you're pulling forward into. And so that's what you want to be thinking about when you're creating your next day, for example. So you can choose to predict a future that's full of fear and full of confusion and full of I don't knows. Or you can create and predict a future that's full of love and happiness, even if it's filled with I don't knows. See, letting go of what you think it needs to look like and just getting into that emotional state is really the answer. That's how to move forward using the quantum field and allowing this vibrational grid structure shift to work for you. So really begin to think about that as you plan your days and realize that the roadmap of your future that you're moving into is one that you want to create. You want to live into it. So think about the words that you use, the actions that you're taking, the dreams that you have, the desires that are within you. And in any moment, catch yourself if you're filling it with doom and gloom and fear, because that is not going to assist you with this quantum upgrade that we're moving into. So you have the energetic support to do this. There are many, many experts and other people like me on the planet now who are here to assist with this. You know, there's the idea that perhaps some of us don't know how to get from that fear-filled place into that peace-filled place. You know, reach out and be supported by people like me and you know, people who you do look up to who are able to be in that vibration already. So you have access to a quantum world where multiple possibilities exist. And that means that not only does the peaceful, hopeful, joy-filled, love-filled possibilities exist, but of course the flip side of that exists too. Which one are you going to pick? Now we're not there yet, okay? We're not in an energy field yet where we can instantly manifest our desires. We're still living right now in this 3D linear timeline. And so it doesn't happen immediately, but it can happen faster than you think if you just practice this. So the question is asking yourself, what is it I want to create? Do I take time every day to allow myself to really think about what I want? So the next theme in this message is you have the ability to access new wisdom. This is a knowing and a wisdom that you maybe haven't accessed before, because this grid structure is opening up and it's allowing in unbelievably high photon energy, really powerful light. You now have the ability to access the you that exists in other dimensions, in other realms, in other lifetimes. And so you can look forward to a future that is just based on what you know right now in this moment as this person that you are, or you can begin to believe that in any quiet moment, you can tap into an intuition that is yours from all other kinds of energy fields. And from there, then you can begin to create something even better. And you're creating it from the you that's in that expansive space. So you then bring that forward into your now moment. Now, as I mentioned, it's not going to happen immediately. It could, but the more you begin to believe that you have the ability to do this, the easier it's going to be. So you're accessing wisdom and experience in your current form that you don't know yet, because it's coming from the infinite possibilities that are available in the quantum field through you. The other thing that's really important right now as we're going through this shift is your emotional state, and understanding that when you come from that place of love, from the energy of the heart, it's the highest value to help you to direct your intention. So when you can feel, sense what you want to experience, like I mentioned before, but when you know what it feels like to go on vacation, or you know what it feels like when you're going to go on a date with someone new, or you know what it feels like when you're going to go and have that wonderful dinner at that restaurant that you love, that's when you're beginning to use your emotional state, the energy of your heart, not the power of your ego, which is based on the limitations of our 3D world right now. And guess what that's all about? It's all about fear, control, that kind of mechanism where you don't have free choice. Now you have all the free choice that you need in any moment when you can access the energy of the heart, not the head, and begin to allow those absolutely wonderful experiences that you have had in your life and that you've had in other lives. And you bring that forward in any moment. So you can begin to perceive that this is actually possible for you by letting go of any containment that it's not possible, because that's only based on what you currently know. But what if you could access other realms that you don't even know about yet that will bring in even greater things for you? You can do it through the energy of the heart. It is very, very, very powerful. So you're looking forward using the emotion of love to bring in the world that you want to live in. The last theme of this message is all about practicing this. You know, you can do this if you really diligently take time and practice. There's so much dimensional shifting going on. There's so much energetic change going on. Don't get bogged down with the details and the intricacies of what you want. Just go big. Just go to the energy of it. And every night before you go to sleep, perhaps you sit down and you go, okay, what do I want to create tomorrow before I fall asleep here tonight? Let that be the guiding light, the energy of the heart. And know that when you do that on a regular basis, that guiding light actually becomes bigger, because you're now accessing out into this incredible vibrational shift messages and intuitions and ideas that you don't even know is possible right now in this moment. So we've, the messages that I brought through many of my videos tell you how to stay grounded. They tell you how to stay centered. They tell you how to connect to your soul. Another way to do that is the community that you're in, the people that you hang out with. Talk to people who are inspiring. Be with people who are hopeful, who focus on the positive, who are not talking about all of the control and fear and worry and stress and all of that. You don't have to be in that place if you choose not to. Turn off the news. Don't read the newspaper. Don't talk to people who are afraid all the time. It's not going to help you. Go and do the things that you love. Be in nature. Get exercise, eat healthy food, maintain your meditation practice, do all the things that are good for your body and soul, and stay in the present moment. And when you do think about the future, think about it from the perspective of what kind of a future you want to live into, and bring that energy forward as you do that. So I hope that this has been a helpful message for you. If this is something that you enjoy, you can listen to the channeled message on mixcloud.com/Bosie International. And if you want to read the transcript, it is on my website right now, bosieinternational.com/blog. And if you're having, real issues, struggling, dealing with anxiety, not sure how to access your own power, your own purpose, your own passion, please reach out to me for a private session and we can work through some of those things and I can help you. In the meantime, stay in your heart, stay with this new vibration, don't let it get to you, and be well. And as always, much love to you. Thank you so much for watching today.